Magsa-start na pala tayo? Hindi ko kasi marinig eh. May music na? You should have your own show. Hindi mo na siya. Hindi naman take over. That's my... promote na lang. Hi, hello there. Good evening. Welcome to the June Alma Show. This is June Alma. Welcoming you to another exciting episode. Tonight we have a very exciting topic because we have the brothers from the famous wine and food business, and this is a segue to the first episode we had and the succeeding ones where we interviewed two of the brothers. And so tonight we're very lucky because we have a location shooting in their restaurant, which is the Wine Museum. So we're now here in a very beautiful restaurant of the Joseph brothers. So here beside me are the three of the four Joseph brothers. Good evening, Ralph, Raymond, and Ronnie. Hello there.
Good evening,
Hello, Alma.
Judge.
So welcome back, Ronnie and Ralph. And I see that we have a new brother with us tonight. Hi, Raymond.
Hello.
Hi.
Good evening.
Yeah. So would you like to continue telling our televiewers how you came up with this wine restaurant? And it's called, how you named it, the Wine Museum? Would you like to start,
I
Ralph?
think Raymond will say that.
Okay.
This wine museum was an idea brought about by my brother Bobby,
Mhm.
our eldest brother, and we were just looking for a place for our friends, our suppliers, for us to eat.
Uh-huh.
Uh, then
Cool. So it's like a hobby that, evolved into a nice business.
it's more for a place for us to hang out together,
Yeah.
then have our wine tastings together.
Oh, cool. So, yeah, I understand you have regular wine tasting sessions, right? Or events. Would you like to talk about it, Ronnie?
Yes, we have regular events here, wine tastings every
Mhm.
Thursdays, and we've been doing this tasting since 2001.
Yeah.
And there's also what they call this wine education here for HRM students,
Oh,
so they can
good.
come. They
Yeah.
can come and we'll take them through the course.
Yeah. I understand you started as a wine trader, right? And usually wines go with food. I mean, pairings, right? So is this why you have come up with this restaurant plus a string of other restaurants, Ralph?
We have very good food here. In fact, we started El Restaurant a long time ago together with our cousin Johnny. And we still have our original chefs. No?
Mm-hmm.
We still have our original menu. We specialize in Spanish, no? Although our chefs can really cook. No? Aside from what we do here is we have training almost 3-4 times a week for all our merchandisers that we deploy in supermarkets. No?
I see. What kind of training? When you say training, is this an ongoing training about wines, or it's about food preparation and the menus that you try to improve on every time?
It's ongoing training on wine and spirits because we have merchandisers deployed in all supermarkets. No?
Mm-hmm.
And aside from even the wines and spirits that we bring in, other companies that we also carry, they send their own people to train our merchandisers. So in order for our merchandisers to know what they're really selling in the outlets like Robinson, Walter Mart, and the rest.
Yeah. So I understand, Ralph, because this was named after you, right? So, well, obviously you've started the whole business. So would you like to share with our televiewers how you came about choosing specifically the industry of wines and spirits when there are a myriad of several other industries and products and services? Why particularly wines?
When we first started, That was 1975, no?
Mm-hmm.
The company was called Philippine Wine Merchants. So our retail store was here in this street. And then the reason why Philippine Wine Merchant, because at that time, the number one company was Manila Wine.
Oh, that's
So
a separate. That's
our dream was to be bigger than Manila Wine, so we made ourselves Philippine Wine.
yeah.
And we definitely became bigger than Manila Wine. And by the time we were allowed to import, we had to separate our retail from our importation. No?
Mm-hmm.
So the most visible person at that time in the store was me. So I said, okay, the retail stores will be called Ralph's. And that gave birth to Ralph's.
Oh, very nice. And yeah, let's talk about also your menu here because this is a very. I know you have a really delicious, a selection of Spanish food. You were talking about one of the Joseph relatives who is your main chef, or he had a radio program before. You were saying.
Okay, our cousin Johnny Midnight.
Uh-huh.
Okay, Johnny Midnight.
Oh, he's famous Johnny Midnight.
Was the one that started all of this thing, menu. He learned from Alba.
Oh yes.
And before it was Alba,
Mhm.
Colas, no? And Johnny trained. And in fact, he is the only one until now that has the original recipe,
Oh wow.
of which we have it right now here.
Yes.
And the original chef of Alba
Mhm.
is with us.
Oh, but you. Does this mean that it's a Spanish lineage? But Joseph, is that a Spanish name or it's a Middle Eastern? Your lineage is Middle Eastern or Spanish?
Okay, both of our grandparents, one comes from China, my mother's side, and our other grandfather is Syrian Iraqi.
Where?
Syrian Iraqi.
Oh yes, yes. Okay, Middle Eastern.
And they both came to the Philippines to marry
Mm.
Spanish Filipina.
Oh.
So we're a mix of all.
I see. And wow, you are a potent family because I mean you are a family of brothers, all boys, and then all your sons, all your kids are also sons, right? So and I noticed that you are all starting even the names of your kids with the letter R. So what is the significance of this? Is this because it's lucky for you? Is it like a signature, letter for you? Would you like to
If it
answer?
starts with an R, it's from us.
Yeah, patently are.
They must be from us.
And all your kids are all boys. My goodness, is there a formula for that, or
No,
it is just?
excuse me, not all our kids
not
are
all,
boys.
I
We
see.
also have girls.
Oh, you also have, but mostly
Like-
are boys, right?
Yeah, more on boys. Like Ronnie has 2 boys and 1 girl.
Uh-huh.
Raymond has 3 boys and 1 girl. I have 3 boys and 1 girl.
Ah, I see.
Bobby has 3 boys and 2 girls.
Oh, I see. So majority really, but you, the main Joseph brothers are really 4 boys, right?
Yes.
Oh.
Actually, my dad's name starts with R.
Also,
That's why all of us are R and all our kids are R.
Mm-hmm.
So now they'll have kids, and if they run out of R's, they'll move to S.
What YS?
Alphabet.
Ah, the next. Oh, I see. Okay. Next in the alphabet. I see. Okay. That's cute. Anyway, so going back to the projects that you have. Any events upcoming? You're talking about some wine tasting event, which you have recently organized, right? Would you like to invite the televiewers?
Yeah,
to talk
okay.
about
On
it?
November 16, we will be having our annual event, the Grand Wine Experience, now on our 12th edition.
Okay.
We will be featuring over 22 countries, over 500 wines.
Wow. Okay.
We'll have a lot of winemakers and vineyard personalities.
Mhm.
Although it's not only a wine event, it is also a spirits event. And we will be serving wall-to-wall food. This will be at the Marriott Grand Ballroom.
I see. When will this be again?
This will be on November 16th. That's a Friday, 5 p.m. onwards.
Oh, I see. Okay, it's a one night event.
Yes, and it's wine will start flowing 5 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
and we're gonna have 500 wines and
Wow.
spirits.
So it's cocktail hour from 5 p.m. or cocktail hour. How do you
Yes,
call it? It's not
yes, but all the way until the wine is there.
Mm-hmm. But no food. It's basically
No,
just all wines.
the food will be
Oh yeah, you mentioned.
prepared by the brilliant chefs of the Marriott Hotel.
Oh, wow. Okay. So,
And
um,
Manila's nicest people will be there, as
uh-huh.
always. And we're
Yes.
now on our 12th year.
Yeah. What is the secret behind, some long-standing business like yours? And you've grown to become the largest chain of wine retailers in the country, right? Can you share with us your secret? How you have sustained?
Actually, the 12 year is the wine, the grand wine. We're on our 37th year.
Wow,
Yeah.
even more impressive, huh? It's almost as old as.
I started drinking at the age of 8. So I'm only 45.
When your nose is growing longer, like Pinocchio. But anyway, yeah, I know there's a technique to drinking wine, right? So that you don't get drunk. You were, telling us, Ronnie, in the first episode that, there is really a technique. Would you like to share it again with our televiewers?
Well, it's really, what we really do is enjoy wine with food. So it's not really binge drinking that we are,
Yeah.
what we teach, no? It's
Mhm.
enjoying wine with food,
Okay.
enjoying wine with people. It's about fellowship and all of that. So that's the way to drink wine and appreciate it. And it's about also discovering the different styles and flavors of wine.
Yeah. So going back to, the business part again. How did you get to introduce wine into the country? Because usually you drink wine when it's a cold weather country, right? And it's very hot here. So, how did you try to educate the people into
We
become
didn't have.
sophisticated wine drinkers?
We didn't have to educate them because Jesus did. That's
do you
how
mean?
we learned about wine. We just followed tradition.
Ah, okay. So, oh yeah, in the in mass they serve wine. Yeah. Yeah. So and then what other business practices would you like to share? In
Okay, I'll touch on the grand wine. During the grand wine event, like last year, we had a table of around an inch of chocolate
Mhm.
by 3 feet by 12 feet.
Wow, that's long.
A big table, really good chocolate. And then we had a chocolate man, a man that was sitting beside the chocolate,
Mhm.
covered with chocolate.
Oh,
And people were surprised when he started moving.
really?
They thought it was a chocolate statue.
He was like the chocolate boy. He was one of the chefs.
Uh-huh.
They painted him with chocolate.
Oh,
So everyone thought he was
a statue.
chocolate
chocolate
bar until he
bar.
opened his eyes.
Until the first ant bit him, started to bite him already.
And then, how did the wines come in?
No, the food is fantastic. You have salmon. You have last year we consumed around 180 Peking ducks.
Wow,
No, we had
that's
the biggest paella, let's say, like a small jacuzzi of paella.
mhm.
We had all kinds of cheeses in
Wow.
in its original form in rolls. No,
Yeah.
we had giant tuna sashimi. We had what you call
Wow,
this?
we're all getting hungry.
And a giant chef. He was about
Oh, really? Oh my goodness. And huge. I can imagine.
A
With all the
German
food.
German chef.
about 6'6",
Oh.
6'7".
I see. So, and how would you, try to convince our prospective wine drinkers that, after all, wine is good for the heart. It's not really damaging to the liver, or what they usually fear most about wine drinking. How would you convince the televiewers that wine drinking is actually, if done in moderation, it can be good for us.
What we fear most when we drink wine
Mm-hmm.
is when you drink too much, and the next day you found out that your date was not as pretty as you thought.
Yeah, when you
Just
fall
joke.
flat in the floor and you know.
Actually,
you
the
overdo
best way to
drinking.
drink wine is really to take it slowly.
Yeah. What? But some people get tipsy and then they fall flat in the floor.
Or some of them go home to the wrong house.
Yeah. So, so now, how would you convince your televiewers that wine, after all, is a good beverage? That
Actually, we have to convince the Senate
Mhm.
because there's a sin tax, no?
Yeah.
And it's been already proven that wine is good for the health. So it's not supposed to be considered a sin. It's not supposed to be in the sin tax. It's medicinal, it's
Okay.
healthy,
Yeah.
so it really has to be. In fact, when I was talking to one of the lawmakers, they were saying, Ralph, actually, it should be tax-free because of the health benefits. Because everybody's talking about the sin tax, something bad for your health, but wine is proven to be healthy and good for
Are you referring to the wines without alcohol? Is there such a thing? No alcohol. So it's if it's healthy, or alcohol can be, good also for the body.
The alcohol actually opens up your circulation.
Nice. Okay, so we'll talk more about this, about the very interesting topic about wines and liquor, after a few reminders from our friends. We'll be back shortly. Stay tuned. Hi, good evening. We're back, and welcome again to the June Alma Show. This is June Alma, and we're joined tonight by my co-anchor, the small but terrible, but very amiable, very witty, Dr. Che Alejano. Hi, Che. Good evening. Would you like to greet our televiewers?
Yes, good evening, everybody. I am the late Chelehano. And of course,
Always
there's
late.
our guest.
Of course, we're back with our main guest, Mr. Ralph Joseph, the prime mover behind Ralph's Wines and Spirits, and also Philippine Wine Merchants, among other businesses. Um,
Good
welcome
evening.
again, Ralph.
Lady and gentlemen,
Yeah. Continuing our earlier talk about, we were already beginning to talk about controversial issues like the sin tax, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, would you like to, continue and tell our televiewers about the sin tax?
Yeah, is it positively or negatively affecting the industry?
definitely it's negative. What's going to happen? No? Actually, the sin tax is an agreement with the world trade that there should be, let's say, equal level of playing field. No? However, the local group are lobbying to do it a three-tier instead of a single tier. Like any country abroad, when they produce their product and they have to pay tax, the imported also pays the same tax. So it's fair. While in the Philippines, when you import, you are penalized.
Mhm.
You are already penalized by having custom duties,
Yeah.
and then you're penalized for excise tax, no? And the sad part is there are three levels of taxation. If you bring in a product that's worth $1 and you want to sell it at around 400 pesos
Okay.
because of the taxes and the expenses of A&P, no, the budget to promote it, no, you are penalized and you have to sell it at the second bracket. So the first bracket, anything that goes below 250 pesos is the first bracket. So if you want to sell it higher than that, 251, you pay the second bracket of tax.
Ah, okay, okay.
So you have no space now to put in money and promote the product.
Mhm.
And only the products that are known will be the ones selling. So it's unfair.
Mm. So you'll be forced to either price down or cut margins.
Either you cannot price down because if you price down, you have no margin and you
Mm.
have no A&P. And when you don't have no A&P,
Yeah.
you don't give any economic activity
Mhm.
to the country.
Yeah. Advertising and promotions. Yeah, our
Yes.
viewers might not know what that is.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So how do you, go about trying to sell so that you can, in a way that isn't expensive, because you said it's being
Mhm.
eaten up by the taxes.
It has to be a single tier as what the World Trade wants, so which is fair. And it's not that because it's one pricing that the locals will suffer. Definitely not. No, because when you import an imported product, you still have to pay custom duties.
Mhm.
You have to pay freight. You have to pay VAT. No, and the higher you pay,
Mhm.
you consume, the higher your VAT. So that is
Yeah.
really a higher input. No?
Mhm.
And with this, the locals will be able to compete and make themselves better because competition makes you better.
Yeah. And the local products don't have any import, they don't have any duties, they don't have any taxes other than what's already there.
Yeah.
So actually, it's not really going to be unfair to that. So we're the only country that's doing the triple tiered.
I think we're the only country
Oh my God.
because and no, and the funny part is
Uh-huh.
like if you are made of sugarcane alcohol
Mhm.
and if you are made of any product that's produced here locally, you're exempted. Your tax is same as the local,
Yeah.
which should be the other way around because you should protect the local. No?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So, if you're made from grain, barley,
Which is
etc.,
imported.
etc.,
Yeah.
then they hit you with higher taxes. So, in short, the protection is very, very strong. That's why it's unfair. And countries like the UK, Spain, they're all complaining. In the US,
Oh, interesting. Are you doing a lobbying right now for?
well, we did our presentation,
Uh-huh.
but the lobby money is really with the local. No?
Mhm.
The local ones like
Yeah.
okay, the local right now the local pays something like 13 pesos for excise tax.
Mhm.
A
Regardless
specific
of
tax, regardless
selling
of selling price.
Okay.
No? While the imported, if you are selling at 250 below,
Mhm.
except for the input taxes, no, your tax is something like 150 pesos.
Oh.
Anything over or 180, sorry, anything over 250 to I think 500, if I'm not mistaken,
Uh-huh.
the tax goes up to around 200 to 300 bucks. Or
That's over and
360.
above, or that's included in your selling price?
That is per liter proof. Per
Uh-huh.
liter
Yeah,
proof
yeah.
means if you bring in a 75 cl bottle of whiskey, let's example, the excise tax is 300 pesos times
Yeah.
0.75
Uh-huh.
times the alcohol content.
Content, yeah.
So, and if you sell anything above 500 plus,
Mhm.
your tax goes up to 700 pesos.
So that
Ooh.
translates to
Really,
what
really.
percent?
If you are also, who won't complain?
Uh-huh.
If you are, because we're supposed to be global already. No?
Mhm.
So, I have a feeling that they still will come out with the three-tier,
Mhm.
and I think this will cause a problem.
Yeah. Is that a protectionist bent of Congress, you think?
Well, the
Or it's
lobby.
just the lobby?
Of course, the lobby comes from the local producers.
Uh-huh.
No? And also the others. The sad part is when it comes to wine. Okay, the wine's okay,
Mhm.
but sparkling wine they also penalized.
Ah.
And sparkling wine is only wine that has carbon. It's
Yes,
carbonated.
yes,
That's
yes.
all.
Mm.
So from at an 18 peso per bottle, you'll have to pay something like 350 or 400 additional for a sparkling wine.
Expensive.
So you ask why? If the sparkling wine is only $1, $1.50,
Mhm.
and you have to pay 300, 400 pesos for excise tax, I
Yeah.
think that's really.
That makes it 500 break even pa lang.
So what is the percent translation? Is it 1,000% already? I mean, they tax you, you said from 18 pesos to 350.
Yeah.
That would be translated into what percent of tax increase? Or
No, what happens actually because of this? A lot of big players left the country.
Mm.
So they left the country, and then they just supply the Philippines through backdoor maybe,
Mm.
and through Singapore or through Hong
Yeah.
Kong. So what happens is that instead of the supplier comes in, sets up offices, hires people, spends money for A&P, we
Mm.
lost all of that.
Mhm.
All that economic activity. When the expat comes in, definitely he has
Yeah.
to have a good house. he has to buy a good car.
Mm.
He has to hire good marketing people.
Mhm.
They have to promote every day. So the multiplier effect of economic,
Yeah.
what's the term? Activity,
Mhm.
we lost.
Yeah.
So, but you have been consistently diversifying your business, right? So, like you've come up with, let's talk about your other businesses. You've come up with restaurants, different kinds of restaurants, and then you've also come up with spas, right? The tauntauns. Yeah, and now you're thinking of putting up selling Thai products too, right? In relation to your Thai salon.
We intend to get into the food business also to offset also cost of deliveries, cost of logistics, no? Because sometimes when you have to deliver to a supermarket, the supermarket might only order one or two cases or a
Mhm.
few bottles. Imagine your delivery van will be there,
Mm-hmm.
stocked the whole day, because
Mm.
it's not only you doing the delivery.
Mm-hmm.
Hundreds of suppliers are doing, no?
You're waiting in line just to offload.
Yeah, to offset that, we intend to come up with fast-moving products like milk,
Mm.
cooking oil. These are the basic,
Mhm.
not junk food definitely, because when you import junk food, shelf life is is very short. No?
Mhm.
So, and then also maybe Thai products like fish paste that
Mhm.
they sell, chili sauce.
So you intend to go into retailing and through the supermarkets this time because
Distribution
right now
mainly.
you are into restaurants, and then you will go into retailing different small products.
Our restaurants are really more on capricho and for our entertainment.
Mm.
So because actually the best restaurant, if you want to get into the restaurant business,
Mhm.
it has to be the fast food
Ah,
business in order to make money.
Yeah. Cash and carry yun.
Yeah, it's very difficult to put up a restaurant really. No?
So are you saying the fast food business, which means you will have to franchise a foreign brand?
A local brand.
Oh.
You'll
If you want
create your
to
own
get,
brand.
of course, dapat sariling atin,
Yeah,
di ba?
better. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so tell us more about the personal side, Ralph. Like we were talking earlier about your brothers who joined us tonight, and how did you get? Because I know your business is a family-owned business, and like when we had the interview with the Italian ambassador, he was driving a strong point and acknowledging that what really drove the economy of Italy was family-owned businesses. And so, did you really, think from the beginning that you really wanted a family-owned business, or this just evolved, spontaneously as you tried to get into the wine business?
Family owned, better. And even when we deal with companies abroad, we deal with family owned,
Yeah,
because
that's
you know
true.
the big businesses, corporate business,
Yes.
that shareholder, you talk to them today, tomorrow they have a decision,
Mhm.
they don't
Faster.
care. Well, with family owned, it's a long term relationship,
Oh, yeah.
and with family owned, they really care for their product. There's
That's
more
true. Yeah.
tender, loving care.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And so the wines we represent are really a lot of family owned. That's
Mhm.
why they have been very, very successful, because the quality doesn't change. The quality even improves more. And the relationship is very, very good.
That's true.
Mhm.
Oh, so that's why that's the wisdom behind,
Yeah.
primarily a family-owned business vis-a-vis um, big companies who hire professionals. And yeah, from last time we were talking about, business methods and practices that really will be good for a business, bottom line, or because they're not family-owned, they would sometimes propagate bad work methods, right? Yeah, we were talking about uh, when you have employees who are you said if it's not family owned, then they don't really cherish the business as much as if it were family owned, and so sometimes they fool around during during office hours, and it just ruins the wisdom of running a business and the value of family-owned businesses. So, well, what are your thoughts on big, big organizations that put together, many specialties and many professions vis-a-vis big businesses that are also family-owned?
If you just look at who are the richest people
Mhm.
in the Philippines, their
Yes,
businesses
always.
are all family owned,
That's true.
and they hire professionals.
Yes.
But at the end, the decision are
Is the
just
family.
theirs.
Yes. That's true. And businesses always, further it brings out the better, it brings out the
Yeah.
better person, the better parts in a person, in you. So it's like you grow also in character because you tend to work hard because it's your money that that's at stake, right? So you tend to work harder, and you develop more fundamental good values. And what else? Do you have some more?
If you look at the biggest corporation in the Philippines, I think it's San Miguel, no?
Mhm.
And if you look at who is the richest man in the Philippines,
Yeah.
it's not in San Miguel. So, and they're very, very solid. The Taipans, the Philippine Taipans, we have to give it to them because these people really put their money in the Philippines and really
Mhm.
support our economy. So it's fantastic.
Yeah. Yeah. So, do you have some more questions, Chet?
Well, so insofar as growing the business, you're looking actually at diversifying rather than increasing your market presence on
No.
imported.
We want to definitely this is our business, and we
Mhm.
will increase this business.
Mhm.
And we set up a bottling line in Subic.
No, there you go.
It's in the pipeline now. We're still trying to figure out what will be the right product to come out, no?
Yeah.
But since our company is called Food and Beverage Incorporated,
Mhm.
we have to now strengthen the food department. That's why we're looking into actually the profit when it comes to milk and oil. It's so small. It's a commodity. Wherein such as if you make a mistake in logistics,
Mhm.
you lose money on the
Ah,
product.
okay. So in terms of bottling, will you be? I heard that there were several tuba or coconut-based fermented spirits already in the United States. Are you looking into something like that?
No, you're talking about the VUCO or something
Mhm.
like that, no?
Oh.
I think we intend to do basic like vodka, rum, gin,
Mm.
and then we intend to emphasize also on local, no? But we
Mhm.
emphasize on, let's say, if we do lambanog,
Mm,
we
there
will
you go.
just have to purify it better.
Yeah, there you go.
But we really have to improve our product because we have everything here. We have coffee,
Mhm.
we have all the fruits, we have rice, we have
Mhm.
corn, we have all of these things that can
Yeah.
come up with good local
wines.
products.
Yeah.
We have all the resources. So you're suggesting that we have to improve production processes for all these
Yeah.
resources that we have.
The only problem here is we don't have industries like a glass industry
Mhm.
that you can buy good bottles, no?
Yeah.
You'll end up buying from companies that later on will not supply you because you're competing with them.
Mhm.
So this is the problem here, no? So we'll have to buy in China.
Yeah.
We'll have to buy in maybe Korea or Japan or Spain.
Mhm.
So the raw materials, we need that structure. So the government has to really support.
Yeah.
Like,
There you go.
If you buy bottles, where will you get your bottles?
Yeah. Nobody's flying.
Oh, so we have more interesting questions and answers from Mr. Ralph Joseph and the Joseph brothers shortly after a short break. Please do stay with us. We'll be back. See you.
Now let's talk about housemaids. Election. No, really. Alam mo, our problem with bottling.
Would you like your two brothers to join?
Monitor, wala.
Would you like your brothers to join?
We'll talk about the different minutes. Oji, ba't wala kami monitor?
Hi, hello there. We're back at the June Alma Show, and this is June Alma again. And we have again as guest, we're back with Mr. Ralph Joseph, president and founder of Ralph's Wines and Spirits. Hi, Ralph. Going back to our discussions, will you please educate us on the difference between wines and spirits, which is the heart of
The
your
other
business?
Okay. Actually, wine, and when you say wine, it's fermented.
Okay.
Wine can come from grapes, it can come from any fruit, it can even come from vegetables. As long as you ferment it, like even tuba, no? It's fermented and then you have wine. Spirits are the same thing. You get wine, or you do wine from any other organic material, and then you distill it, and then you concentrate it, and it becomes spirits. That's the difference. So wine is natural. Spirit, you have to heat it up.
There you go.
Distilled, sorry.
Oh, so it's in the production process
Yeah, it's the production
that
process.
makes the delineation. Okay.
Fermentation and the other one's
Yeah, visibly
distillation.
distilled.
Like, let's take grapes, no?
Mm.
You get grapes, you crush it, then you have wine.
Mhm.
You ferment it, it becomes 8, 9, 10%, and then they distill it.
Mhm.
When you distill it, you have brandy.
Oh, there you go.
Okay? Then you get molasses, for instance, no?
Mhm.
Molasses from sugarcane,
Yeah.
or the juice of the sugarcane. You ferment it, okay? You have very good basi,
Mhm.
okay? You
Basi.
distill it, it is the basic element for rum.
Ah, okay.
Okay, when it's rum, it's sugarcane really, no?
Mhm.
But the practice, okay, the practice here is when you distill it, you reach a very very high alcohol
Mhm.
of at least 92 to 96% alcohol,
Mhm.
and it becomes neutral. And when it becomes neutral, it's called vodka.
Okay.
Okay, vodka is tasteless and odorless,
Mhm.
and it can come from other fruits too, or other grain, no?
Mm.
As long as it reaches neutral, no? And then here they add uh, flavoring, caramel to make it to look brown.
Uh-huh.
Okay, and then they can call it brandy, they call it gin, they call it whiskey. But in Europe, you cannot do that.
Mhm.
If you are brandy, for instance, no,
Mhm.
you can only use grapes.
Mhm.
And then when you distill it, you have to have the lowest is 36% alcohol.
Okay.
If it's 36% alcohol below, like what we have here called light, even if it's
Light.
made from
Okay.
even if it's made from grapes, they cannot call it brandy.
Mhm. Because
So
it's like
it has to have a certain minimum alcohol
alcohol
content,
level.
no?
If it's
and
higher, it
and
has to
with
be
whiskey, with the Scotch whiskey,
brandy.
it has to be really 40% alcohol.
Mhm. Okay.
Anything lower than that, you cannot call it
Whiskey.
or Scotch whiskey.
Mhm.
So what's happening? If you would like to know, because a lot of people don't know what single malt is,
Mhm.
and they want to know what is blended whiskey because they're used to drinking blended whiskey. Single malt comes only from barley,
Okay.
while blended whiskey is part barley, and then they can use all the other grain. They can use corn,
Mhm.
they can use wheat, they can use rye. So that is a blended whiskey. That's why single malt is more expensive.
Oh, there you go.
What about the softer wines like sparkling wines, red and white and rosé?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay, you can make white wine from white grapes.
Mhm.
You can make white wine from red grapes,
Mhm.
and you can make white wine from black grapes.
Okay.
How? You get the grape, you crush it, you have the juice,
Mhm.
and then you have white wine. Then with the red grape or the black grape,
Mhm.
you leave the peel,
Yeah,
the skin,
Yeah.
until it tans the juice, no?
Mhm.
And then you can take it out right away, so you have rosé.
Oh, there you go.
And you keep it long now, and you have the red wine.
So it's the skin.
It's the skin.
Yeah.
And then when it comes to sparkling wine, when you have wine already, then you bottle it, and then you add a little sugar
Mhm.
and yeast, and you do a second fermentation. A second fermentation means that the carbon dioxide will develop inside the bottle.
Mhm.
That's a second fermentation, and then it will pop. That is sparkling wine.
You don't add that post-production?
Okay, the champagne method
Yeah.
is expensive because it's
Oh,
natural,
okay.
no? But then you have the CO2,
Mhm.
like Coca-Cola.
Yeah.
You just
Carbonation.
inject carbonation.
Yeah. Interesting.
Oh, educational.
Our local, I came across a local product called tapoy.
Tapoy, yeah.
Tapoy and
Ilocano rice wine.
yeah, but it is exactly like sake.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
Actually.
They have improved this
Yeah.
this rice research thing in Nueva Ecija. They
Mm.
came up with tapoy. In fact, we're helping them launch it in the market, and
Mhm.
we represent sake from Japan. And when we made the Japanese sake manager try it, he was surprised.
Mhm. So we're really good also on sake.
Yeah, we're improving already.
Mm.
Our wines are improving, and in fact, our local production, even with
Mhm.
our local companies like Tanduay, they come up now with good products.
Uh-huh.
Even their packaging has improved, no? So if syntax, okay, will be lifted,
Uh-huh.
and there will be only a one tier syntax,
Mm.
this will make them better. They will produce better. They will, because you'll have to compete globally,
Yeah.
and the Filipinos are known for that.
Uh-huh.
We come up with very very good products. No?
Mhm.
You don't baby your child.
Okay. So your advocacy then would be removal of the protectionist bent that we have.
Yes, not only for wines and spirits, but
Yeah.
for all.
For all. For all.
Open
actually.
open everything.
That's pretty
Open us
good.
up.
Oh.
Even give our
Mhm.
let foreigners buy land, and
Yeah.
you will see our economy boom. You'll see
Yes,
all the
exactly.
money come in.
Mm. Mm.
We'll be better. We have more resources than everybody.
Mhm. And on the other hand, I know that we have very good products, and because of our innovativeness
Yes.
and our inherent creativity, we're capable of producing world-class products. The only problem that everybody has been talking about pertaining to products in general, not just wines and spirits, is we don't have the packaging as well as the marketing savvy and the budgets. What would be a good thing to do in that case?
Okay, what happens when you open up? This is not the indirect, huh?
Yeah.
When you open up the country.
Mm-hmm.
When you open up the country, you'll see a lot of foreign people come in,
Yeah.
putting factories,
Mhm.
investing.
Yeah, exactly.
So a lot of them will invest in packaging.
Mhm.
You see, it will create a very, very big economic activity.
Yeah.
The resorts will open. So, in short, especially if you freeport the whole Philippines, you
Mhm.
see everybody come in. It's proven.
Yeah.
It happened in Hong Kong.
Hong Kong.
It happened in Singapore. Okay, so we can do better. And they have this thing as don't open it because the Filipinos will not be able to own land. That's not true. The Filipinos will have more money.
Yes,
Okay?
exactly.
There will be better jobs. It will open up the different areas in the Philippines, and it will prevent squatters from
Exactly.
clogging the metropolis, because there will be other areas of work
Yeah.
all over.
Yeah, business will disseminate
It will
into the
flourish,
countryside.
and all this packaging and problem that will be solved.
I see what you mean. I see what you
Okay,
mean.
going back to the the business of wine, or the wine and food pairings. Yeah, would you like to educate us on, is it better that we have different kinds of wines beginning with cocktails, and then as you move on dinner, you serve red
Mhm.
wine or white wine with fish, and then red with meat,
Mhm.
and then you move on to dessert, which is like sweet sparkling
Yeah,
wines or
aperitif.
dessert wines?
Yeah.
Would you recommend that, or would you recommend just one wine straight away?
What wines for courses?
Wine is like food. Do you want to eat one course the whole day?
Oh, so you would recommend several. Besides the
On a
business-
regular basis, that's what we do, right?
Correct.
When you're dining out, you have several courses. Yeah.
Yeah, but normally, like, if you notice right now when there's a party,
Yeah.
okay, they put you first in a holding room, and everybody has cocktail
There you
before
go.
they put
Ah.
you in the main.
Mm.
No? And perfect aperitif is sparkling wine. Is
Ah,
the
okay.
best.
I thought it's dessert.
That's
for
the
dessert.
aperitif.
Yeah,
That's
it's
Sparkling
the best
wine.
because sparkling wine opens up your palate, gets you
There you go.
a little bit high right away,
Uh-huh.
makes you sociable. Okay, because that's what they like. They
Yes.
want to
Yeah.
to warm you up
Mm.
for darapwa with people.
Yes. Because alcohol is disinhibitory. So you lose your inhibitions. And then following would be after the sparkling wines.
But normally, when they do that, they have white and red wine already.
Already.
So,
Okay.
yeah, but the best way to do it is, okay, you take the light ones first, no?
Mhm.
And then when you sit down for dinner, the wine changes because
Mhm.
when you eat food, the wine has to have more structure
Ah,
because
okay. Mhm.
you're already pairing it, no?
Uh-huh.
So you take this fish and then this complements it. So the lighter wine that you tried would be very, very light already
Mhm.
when you're pairing it already.
Without an entree.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you have to
And-
change.
Yeah, and then even the red wine that you're used to,
Mhm.
or the red wine that you don't like because it's too strong,
Yeah.
when you pair it, it's a perfect blend. So
Oh, there you
they
go.
have to experience that
Mm.
that
Okay.
particular experience.
Mhm. What about for dessert? You were asking pa.
The-
Last
Well,
one for dessert.
For dessert, in Europe they definitely do liqueur, no?
Mhm.
Or sherry or port, no?
The grocery report. Yeah, the sweet
But
one.
in the Philippines, no, the Filipinos still want to eat the pastry. Really, no?
Okay.
Yeah, but it's nice. It's nice to bring up a glass of something sweet, like
Yeah.
sweet sparkling wine or champagne, or
Mm.
a late harvest white wine, no? Or a
Mhm.
late harvest red wine, sweet.
Uh-huh.
And sometimes you can even pour it on your dessert. You
yeah,
can
yeah,
mix
yeah.
it, no?
Yeah, now I'm getting hungry.
So what about because they said in sort of in the book of etiquette or somewhere that vis-a-vis the different kinds of wines that you said would be better off if you had different courses, in as the meal progresses from aperitif to main course and dessert. Vis-a-vis that, if there is, for instance, one champagne that you can serve all throughout, because anyway it's champagne. So,
Mm.
what are your thoughts on those?
Definitely, champagne goes all the way.
Mm.
White wine goes all the way. Red wine cannot go all the way
Oh, okay.
because when you're taking fish,
Mhm.
the red wine you can taste the fishy taste. Okay.
Okay.
So the first two they can go all the way. But for the sophisticated people that are already used to it, like when you have champagne dinner,
Mhm.
you start with the entry point of champagne, and then on your first entry you come with the vintage,
Mhm.
and then on your next course, a heavier one, you come up with a vintage rosé, which is more structure, and then on your final course, maybe you can come up with the top of the line that they have, no, their Grand Cru,
Okay.
and you can really taste the difference, no. And with sparkling wine also, they have the sweet version, which goes for your dessert. This
There
is
you
for
go.
the people that are into the sparkling wine, champagne thing.
Uh-huh.
More sophistication.
There you go. Well, now that we've educated everybody, maybe he'd like to invite people to any event that he's got upcoming.
We have the Grand Wine event coming on November 16,
There you go.
and the Grand Wine event is the only event in the world
Wow.
that brings 22 countries together
Mm-hmm.
with super food. You'll go crazy. You don't know what to take, no? And we already incorporated spirits now. We have very, very top of the line spirits, no?
Mm.
And now we'll be introducing the different beers in the world.
There you go.
So this is our 12th year, and we guarantee you it just gets better and better. It starts at 5 in the afternoon and stops at 1 o'clock in the morning. So I think that's enough time.
Oh my God.
to indulge.
Uh-huh. Oh, well, there you go. That was a very nice invitation, and you know what to expect. Don't eat anything, but drink moderately. I will see you next time. And June?
Yeah. So I hope you enjoyed the discussion tonight on getting our taste buds sophisticated. Well, we should be like good wines. We get better as time goes by. So we'd like to thank our guest, Mr. Ralph Joseph, as well as his brothers, Raymond and Ronnie. And we hope to see you again next week for another episode of the June Alma Show. Have a happy weekend ahead. And good night. See you all.